So that's not serious fighting, that is just play. So they're just playing at the moment. When it gets to serious fighting, you'll quickly notice that it becomes quite intense, quite brutal. But when they play fight, it's just like shoving each other around. Oh, this one might get into the water again. Yes, go play. Tim, yes, 7 years old. Elephants are wonderful. Look at this, Tim. Isn't this beautiful? These two young boys busy having the time of their lives here in the water. Watch this, they're having a bit of a pool party. It's like when you go home, or when you go to your friends' swimming pools and you go and dive in there with your friends and have a nice time swimming around and shoving each other. But the elephants are doing that, plus they're also keeping cool, because Tim, on a hot day like this, it's nice for them just to keep their skins nice and cool and their body temperatures down as well. Hey, Mr. Giraffe. Isn't he beautiful? The tallest land mammal in the world. And he's all by himself. So giraffes, sometimes they will join other herds, but they'll sometimes move, especially the males will sometimes move around alone. But you can see all the oxpeckers, all those birds that's running across or along the giraffe's neck. Those are known as red-billed oxpeckers. And taking all the little parasites off the giraffe, so a little comb through the coat with its beak, and take all the little ticks and that off the giraffe. Like a cleaning service. It's like a toothbrush. Not really a toothbrush, actually, that's a terrible one to use. Yeah, but it's like a vacuum. Yeah, like a vacuum cleaner.
Or a broom, maybe.
A broom. I like that. Yeah, a broom or a vacuum cleaner. But you can see why I say it's a male. You can see on top of his ossicones, that's the horns. The horns of the giraffe is known as ossicones. And you see right on top there, he's got no hair on top, like a bald man. And then if it's a female, the female will have thin horns and she'll have hair right on top of the horns. Why does the male have no hair on top there? Well, they do a thing called necking. So two males will like kind of swoop their heads from side to side to try and hit the other one on the neck or on the side of the body if they are competing for females. And then by doing that, it rubs all that hair off.
This is a really special sighting, I must say. I think I've had the best Batalua sightings I've ever had here on Djuma. Most of the time, like I said, I've only ever seen them soaring pretty high up in the sky, or if they have been maybe on the ground on a kill, it's at a very far distance, and then they definitely take off before you get close enough. Also love their eyes. They've got these very glossy, big brown eyes. Oh, having a look at the bill here, if you have a look on the one on the right hand side, so it's like pink, yellow and then black on the end. It almost looks like a bit of a candy cane of some sort. You get those little kids sweets that are kind of multi-shaped, or little ice cream sweet with 3 different colors. What are those sweets? Some sort of little jelly jubby sweet thing. I don't know if we have any people that are a fan of sweets and candy. It's almost like a Halloween kind of sweet color. Yes, Frank, it is really nice to see these Bateleur hanging out together. Sometimes we only see them in singly or solitary. Look how fluffy they are. Giving themselves a good preen. These cracks that elephants sometimes get in their tusks can actually, if it's a superficial crack just on the outside, it's not much harm to them. Sometimes these cracks can actually go all the way up into the main canal in their skull, where the tusks go into the skull, and it can actually cause a bit of a cavity, like we get cavities in our teeth. And shame, unfortunately, I do know of one elephant that he went a little bit mad, and unfortunately it had to end up being put down. A lot of very aggressive behavior and chasing vehicles. They were not sure what was wrong with this poor elephant, and yeah, after he had squashed 2 vehicles, luckily no one was in the vehicles and nobody got hurt, but yeah, unfortunately they did end up having to put the elephant down. So of course they wanted to figure out what was wrong with the elephant, to see maybe if there was a disease in the area affecting the elephants. So they did do a post-mortem on this elephant to see what was wrong with him, and they found out that what had happened is this crack that went up into his tusk, into his skull, had caused a bit of a gap, and some sort of borer or kind of insect had gone and bored its way all the way up into his tusk cavity, and had managed to, over many years, make its way slowly into his brain. So shame, this poor elephant was struggling with this irritation for many years of this kind of boring insect or worm of some sort that had managed to bore all the way up into this poor elephant's brain, and by then obviously it had started driving him a little bit mad. So yeah, just quite interesting how these cracks can sometimes cause problems for these elephants, or sometimes even cause a bit of an ache, like a toothache. Shame, sometimes when these elephants are acting a bit aggressive, if the males are not in must and you have no kind of explanation for why they might have this aggressive behavior, it's always a good idea to have a look at the tusks. They might have some sort of crack or something in the tusks, or sometimes those tusks actually break off further up too high in the cavity that their tusks come from. It can cause a lot of irritation.